Hello again, YouTube. It's John. Welcome back. You could have clicked any video on the internet, but you decided to click this one. So, I have never in my life understood what is the purpose of being a deceptive human being. Like, when I say being deceptive, I mean your true feelings that you are having inside in a given situation, whatever the situation is, you're not expressing that. You're not being truthful. You're like trying to get other people to see you in a different way as opposed to what you're actually feeling on the inside. So, as an example, if you're someone who's going through a season of depression, you're someone who's going through a season where you're not feeling good about yourself, you know what I mean? Things are not great in your life. What is so wrong with not just being honest about that and telling other people around you, hey, I'm not feeling good, I'm going through this or that, that's why I've been acting this or that way, these are the things that are happening and this is how I really feel inside. But instead of doing that, a lot of people will act on the outside the opposite. They'll be like, yeah, everything's fine, everything's just fine and dandy, I feel great, even though they're like dying inside, they're miserable inside. Like, what is the point of deception? I don't understand the deception thing with human beings, right? Like, I've just never understood that. And I don't know, maybe you guys in the comments can explain to me what I'm missing here, but I've just never understood what the point or what you are getting out of deceiving other people. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, does it give you a sense of control? Does it give you a sense of power? Does it, you know what I mean? By making other people believe things that aren't true. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? It doesn't serve any purpose to me. But then again, I've never been someone who's a deceiver like that. You know what I mean? I've always thought of myself as someone who's aligned with who I am, and what I'm putting out there to the world is really, who I am inside and things like that. But a lot of people are not that way. So I've just never really understood the I've got to deceive everybody around me thing. I just don't understand that. Like, it seems like a lot of people have an issue or have a hard time just being real and just being truthful. You know what I mean? Like, that's never been hard for me. You know what I'm saying? That's never been difficult for me. I can tell you exactly what I'm thinking inside or what I'm feeling inside. I have no problem telling you that. I have no problem telling other people, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going through. This is what is happening in my life. This is why I'm acting and behaving in this way. I don't have to like hide that kind of thing. I don't have to manage some kind of image. I don't have to, get other people to see me in a certain kind of way. Like, I don't need to do that. I have no image to uphold. You know what I mean? I'm just me. I have no problem just being me. But a lot of people have a really hard time just being them. And listen, guys, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to judge anybody. This video is not me trying to judge or act like I'm just superior to everybody, or or I'm not understanding or not compassionate or any of these things. I like to think of myself as a compassionate person, but I really don't understand the deception thing. I don't understand the people not being able to be themselves thing. I just don't understand that. I've never been someone who can get behind that kind of thing. It's like, I get that it kind of comes from a place of insecurity. It comes from a place of, you don't want to be seen for who you really are because you're not really the person that you want to be right now. I understand that. But instead of just being deceptive and hiding from yourself and hiding from all these people and shit like that, why not look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, I am not the person that I want to be right now. And, these are the things that I have to do to become the person that I want to be. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to reflect on myself. I'm going to see the areas that I'm lacking and I'm going to fill those areas. You see what I mean? Like, I am going to do the work necessary on myself to become the person that I need to become the person that I want to be, to feel how I want to feel, and to ultimately do what I want to do in this reality, in this life. But I guess for a lot of people, it seems like they're not willing to do that kind of work. They're not willing to. I guess it scares them. For a lot of people, it seems like reflecting on themselves and being honest with themselves and just being truthful and honest and transparent and vulnerable is difficult for a lot of people to do. And again, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything like that. But I've just never understood that. It's not very difficult to be truthful and honest. It doesn't, in fact, let me slow down here. It seems like being truthful and honest and transparent and just being who you are is the easiest thing to do. Because being deceptive and narcissistic and managing an image constantly and trying to get other people to believe things about you that aren't true and acting like something that I'm not and hiding from myself and all this kind of stuff, that seems exhausting to me. Like that is exhausting to be that way. You know, because again, you're never just being, you're constantly performing and acting and all this kind of stuff. That is exhausting. I don't understand how people can live like that. I don't get that. I've never understood that. Because to me, you're not really living if you're doing that. You're not really living. You're not living your life. Your life is not yours if you're doing that kind of stuff. It's not. You're living someone else's life. Like, you're not living your life if you're constantly performing and acting and all this kind of shit for validation and approval from other people. Like, you're just... The life that you are living is not yours. It's just not. So I don't understand that. I've never understood why people are deceptive, why people have to be this way. Because again, I mean, just being you is the easiest thing in the world to do. It really is. At least for me it is. And for a lot of you watching it is. But for a lot of other people, being themselves is just not something that they're capable of, or they're just, they have a hard time being themselves. They have a hard time doing that kind of thing. So... yeah, I don't understand, guys. People are deceptive, and I think that's a part of human nature, deception. But at the same time, if you've done the healing work, you know what I mean? If you're aligned spiritually and all this kind of stuff, you have no reason to be deceptive. You can just be you unapologetically, and that's the best thing you can do in this life, guys, is just to be yourself. You know what I mean? That's the best thing anybody can do. I'm not trying to be some kind of internet guru or anything like that. I'm just some guy with my own problems, just like anybody else in this world. But I do think I'm right about this one thing, and that is the only thing that you can do in this life, the best thing you can do to feel your best, to feel good, is just be you. That's really the truth, guys. Just being you is the only thing that we can do. That's all we can ask of ourselves, is just to be who we are, and that's enough. That's just enough, being you, guys. You don't have to deceive and hide and all this kind of shit. You just don't. So that's kind of the video, guys. My name's John. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a comment, be sure to leave a like, and consider subscribing if you guys like the content. I'll see you in the next one.